because she wasn't having to choose. She wasn't having to say, okay, I have to give up my kids right now and go time travel, me being this other person. When those other persons those other people are literally live and well on her timeline going, hey, we would like to come home. Now, isn't that the ascension process? Fractal pieces of God turning back into light, coming back home. So the micro is what we're going to be doing for the macro, turning back to light. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing a game of memory, basically. You're going to be flipping over cards and going, oh, a knight in shining armor. I'm going to go be that. And I'm going to integrate that back in. And I'm going to integrate that back in. And we're going to do it all through the feeling space. And let the feeling space activate the solar plexus, because this is where we're wobbly right now. The solar plexus, your power center. Think about the life you're living today. Think about the laundry you did yesterday. Is that really you? No. And when you start spending time with these other aspects of yourself, you don't live in comparison. You don't, because you know that there's a version of you. The reason why you compare or you're jealous is because you imagine yourself being that way, and then you don't think that you could ever have it. And then you're jealous of it. And you're always going to see reflections of your parallel realities, versions of you, in other people to both trigger and inspire you. Which means you're going to see the billionaire going, how is that? Now what happens when I integrate all of these aspects into my reality and I do the 7 steps of manifestation? Where is my desire then? My desire is going to be a lot more pure because I'm not lacking anything, am I? My new desire is going to be, I want to be a smorgasbord of all these people. You want to be Indiana Jones. You want to be that version of yourself that can be Mother of the Year and CEO and creator and developer and researcher and inventor and scientist, because that's really who you are. And when you bring all those aspects back together, what happens is the negative and positive charges are blown, it turns into neutrality, and then when you desire anything, it manifests. So the reason why our manifestations are slow is because there's aspects of ourselves that are literally like not doing well on the timeline. And which is why you'll notice that you have to time travel certain incidents 7, 8, 9 times, the same one. It's because it's more about the child who's representing a symbolic version of yourself that you've abandoned. Does this make sense? Want to try it? Who wants to come sit into my chair? Annette. We'll do Annette and we'll do Rachel. Rachel? I'm sorry. There's so many different names I have for you, by the way.
Okay.
We've got a lot of history together.
So every one of the things that you mentioned are me.
I had a feeling.
So I was like, oh my gosh, she's talking about me.
She's talking about me.
Are you guys all alive? Can you see
Yeah,
us?
we're on.
Yeah, you guys can see us. Okay. All right. And we always want to start in the present moment. Okay? And we always want to start with the big thing that is constantly in the way of us expressing who we really are. Which would be what for you? Freedom?
Freedom, yeah. I mean, that's what I want, and I think it's obligation that keeps me from
Okay.
jumping headlong into my freedom.
So there's other aspects of you that are not obligated, aren't there?
Yes.
So if we can put more quantum focus on those aspects of you, then don't you think that it would a little bit organically, because we want everything always to be organic that shows up, because if we have to use willpower for anything, there's a trauma in the way. Always. If you're using willpower ever, you're actually having to step over a trauma and focus on what you believe is the right thing to do. But when you clear that energy, it just organically flows, and then the way that you look at your self-created obligation, it just changes the way you see it. Does that make sense? So what we want to do is we want to find the other aspects of you that are already free. And we want to, instead of looking at them like, I'll never have that. Because you know that's the #1 belief system is, I can't have what I want. I can't be who I know I am. So if I go spend time with all these other aspects of myself and I integrate through the 5 senses, the feeling, the smell, the sun in my hair, you know, having that different body, having no kids. I say that like it's a bad thing, but you know, for some people, literally having children is like a jail cell. It's a wonderful jail cell. I mean, I've created it for myself, but it's a wonderful jail cell. Just like pets, or a home, or a relationship, to a freedom-based organism, it's a jail cell, right? So we want to go visit other aspects of ourselves that are already doing it correctly, and we want to integrate those back in, okay? And this is going to be like a 3-part time travel, because we're also going to, once we get bigger and we get more confident and we start to integrate those bigger parts of ourselves, then we'll go find some lost pieces of ourselves and we'll bring that confident, loving, powered energy to them. But right now, there are more aspects of you doing worse with money if you're struggling with money. If you're dealing with serious relationship issues, there is going to be more versions of yourself that are in turmoil in relationships. So it's all about probabilities. It's all about numbers. It's all about sacred geometry. And what Metatron said to me was basically is find the least common denominator and level out the playing field, neutralize the energy, and activate the DNA. Does that make sense? Okay.